We're in a weird place with movies. As in, most, if not all new movies are not good. More and more sequels and spin-offs and live actions are being funded, and less original ideas are being brought to life. Corporations are being safe. They want to make the easy profit. Well, I'm here to say that we need to bring back risk. We need stakes. We need people to hike through career-threatening danger just because they're that passionate and confident in their idea. I realize I sound pretentious, but real art is lost. And frankly, I don't care if I sound pretentious. Have you seen the trailer for the new Minecraft movie? Did you know that they're making a Transformers Origin movie? Did you know they're rebooting Jurassic Park again? Did you know they're making a live-action Lion King prequel? Did you know they're making a live-action Lilo and Stitch? Did you know I lied about the making of a live-action Lion King prequel and you believed me because it's 100% believable? Did you know I just lying about the live-action Lion King prequel because that's the kind of hell we live in? A hell where any possible sequel or reboot or remake of any successful franchise that you can imagine will more than likely happen within the next 10 years. Whatever beloved character you grew up cherishing, hold on tight because their time is near. It's already happened to me. They killed Kung Fu Panda. I haven't even seen the 4th movie. But I am now a shell of my former self by just knowing the fact that my favorite franchise fell victim to the Hollywood hullabaloo. I don't understand what happened to small budget movies. The films that had to make a name for themselves. The films that had to prove something. Oh, sorry, getting a phone call. A phone call from Mr. Movie? All right, let's go ahead and give that one an answer. Hello? Yeah, this is he. Okay. Oh, there's a new movie out. I'm listening. Okay. And it's not a sequel. It's not a live action remake, and it's not a reboot. And better yet, it's anti-woke. Forgot to tell you guys that one of the most important reasons films are bad now is because they're woke. And yeah, right. They're gay and colored. So you can forget everything I was saying before. This is like the most important and is the true teller as to what is a bad movie. Thank you, Mr. Movie, for bringing me the good news. Okay, I'll see you for club soccer practice on Monday. Please don't forget your cleats this time. I can't keep lending you mine. Okay. All right. See you then. Sorry. He's fun. Bye. He's funny. He's funny. Well, we got good news. There's a new movie out that isn't a spin-off or unnecessary sequel. It's actually an original idea that was inspired by someone else's idea and wasn't executed nearly as well. But the important thing is it's anti-woke, as in the opposite of woke, which is good. We want this. We need more of this. It's called Am I Racist? And it's Matt Walsh and the Daily Wire's newest and proudest creation. It's a Borat-style satirical approach to the documentary genre that fits to serve a specific political purpose. In this case, it's supposed to unveil the hypocrisy and political agenda behind race and racism. Or, like the theme song so subtly puts it, they're gonna say I'm racist, but they call everybody racist. Now, Matt says that race isn't something he really much thought about in the 90s, which is when he grew up.
Growing up in the 90s, I never thought much about race. Sure, you noticed, but never really seemed to matter that much. At least not to me.
I don't know, I haven't seen the movie yet, but if you have never noticed race before and have to ask yourself if you're racist, then maybe you are. Now, if you don't know who Matt Walsh is, I will give you a brief rundown so you're up to speed. Matt Walsh is a political pundit for the widely known conservative media company, The Daily Wire, which is a Ben Shapiro conception. That should tell you enough. Oh, but here's more. Besides the obvious stereotypes that traditionalist conservatives are known for, here are some fun facts that will really help you get to know Matt Walsh. 1. Matt Walsh thinks that influencing is harder than your average 9 to 5.
But generally speaking, again, I know this is unpopular, but sick days are for children, okay? They're for kids in school who are trying to stay home so they don't have to take a test that day. Like, with rare exception, taking a sick day as an adult should be pretty embarrassing for you.
Sick days are for children, says the podcast host with quite literally the easiest job on earth. And this is funny because even his own fan base disagrees with him. If there's one thing we can all agree on as a society in this divisive time, it's that influencers don't get to complain. I won't ever complain, I promise, okay? I have no reason to complain, all right? Listen, I'm on your side. I'm on your side. By this statement, you can probably tell that Matt is a boomer. That would be correct. In response to a tweet by Dave Portnoy, another middle-aged podcasting man who is advocating for the legalization of weed in Florida. Matt says, can you point to any state or city in the country where life has been in any way measurably improved after legalizing marijuana? Where are the legalization success stories? Just give me one, please. Matt has some of the biggest boomer energy I've ever felt from any individual ever, and is obviously not chill like that. And to leave off this Matt Walsh crash course, here's one of the best displays of Matt's character.
Nobody thinks that it will benefit America to become more like Haiti. Nobody thinks that. In what way could this country be improved by making it more like Haiti? When you look at Haiti, what part of Haiti are you saying to yourself, we need more of that, bigger
Right.
country?
We don't want a marine invasion and occupation of the United States that constantly decapitates governments and takes the money out of the country and
Yeah.
like, saddles us with
We don't want
like,
the Clintons
debt
either.
from a revolution. Yeah.
Right. Although I don't. So you're saying
we-
that I get that, but I understand that. But also at a certain
We
point,
wouldn't want that. No, yes.
we wouldn't want that. But I would also say that that's not entirely why Haiti's in the position that it's in. I mean, at a certain point, as a country, you have to stand on your own 2 feet and take care of yourself. And
But what point is that? They elect Aristide and we overthrow Aristide. Then they elect Jovenel Moïse. Jovenel Moïse is assassinated a bunch of people with American connections, and then we install.
Matt Walsh is a shell of a human being. He loves flashing rhetoric and easily digestible talking points about invasive immigrants and pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, but deep down offers nothing of substance or tangible integrity when faced with the reality of a situation. And he made a movie. The Rotten Tomatoes summary states that Daily Wire host and filmmaker Matt Walsh transforms himself into a certified diversity, equity, and inclusion expert, only to uncover a world where profit, not principle, drives the agenda. I really wish he was doing what it sounds like, which is dissecting rainbow capitalism and profit-incentivized diversity. But no, instead he is stealing my video idea. That's right, last year I dressed up as a conservative to go watch The Sound of Freedom. And clearly he saw how genius of an idea it was to dress up as one with the point of it being a parody, because I did invent that, and he wanted to do it himself. Not very well, if I may add. In the trailer, he literally just puts on a ponytail wig and different glasses. He's supposed to be a DEI expert in this movie, and he just looks like himself. Was he not completely invested? I mean, he should have went the whole way. Stereotype it up, Matt. Blue hair, painted nails, choker, maid outfit, I mean the whole 9 yards. Do it for the love of the craft, Matt. There's also a scene in the trailer where he introduces himself to someone as Matt.
And what's your name?
I'm Matt.
So I guess he isn't playing a character, just himself in a wig? I have no idea. All I do know is that I will not let Matt Walsh upstage me. I can certainly do better than whatever this is, and I will. Not only am I going to go watch Matt Walsh's new movie in about an hour from now, but I will be doing so dressed up as a conservative. Is it going to serve any purpose for this video other than entertainment value? No, it's just a really fun bit. Conservatives are really fun and very easy to parody. And I feel less bad in committing to a seemingly unnecessary bit because I have a feeling that Matt's parody is also not going to serve a purpose. But not because he's self-aware about it. No. Because he's bad at what he does. So damn it, let's get this show on the road. Not quite yet. First, we have something important to talk about. In this day and age of mass media and widespread online disinformation, it's truly difficult to tell whether or not you are stuck in your own bias bubble. It's rare, but I'm sure there are some people who had no idea who Matt Walsh or the Daily Wire were before going to see Am I Racist, unknowing of its bias. When consuming information and news stories, especially from online places, it's crucial to know if you can trust what you're reading. That's why I'm happy to announce Ground News, who I actually ended up reaching out to sponsor this video. Ground News is an app and website that gives you full transparency into whatever headline you're researching or article you're reading. They do this by showing you each source's political leanings, their reporting practices and reliability, and their ownership. With this information, you can research and compare coverage with additional context. You can avoid bias bubbles and critically assess the news you choose to consume. Let's take a look at an example. X suspends journalist Ken Klippenstein over publication of J.D. Vance dossier. Here we can see 42 sources that have covered this headline. And within these sources, we can check their biases, factuality, and ownership. With the information given to us, let's do some analyzing. The more left-leaning sources that are covering this story are focusing on framing the journalist as the victim, who was wrongfully suspended or banned by X. Whereas the more right-leaning sources are focusing the framing against the journalist, using buzzwords like left-wing journalist or far-left blogger. Not only does this context help you better decide how you want to look into a story, but it also educates you how different news sources of different biases tends to frame a situation. So you will be a lot better prepared the next time you decide to go look into a story. I'm glad that Ground News has decided to sponsor this video. I've been hoping to work with them for a while. It's super important to stay informed and to stay aware. So go to ground.news/Saji or scan my QR code to save 40% on their unlimited Access Vantage plan. And thank you Ground News for sponsoring this video. And we are off to the races. I am so excited to see this movie, to see my idol Matt Walsh on the big screen. He is one man. He is. I'll tell you what. Oh man, this parking lot is unnecessarily complex. But don't worry, I am a great driver in my truck, if I may add. This is clearly a truck with a bed in the back. This is my esteemed Ford F-150. That is right, of course, because that's the kind of man that I am. Now I am extremely. Whoa! What is going on here? This is ridiculous. You can't just change lanes like that without using your turn signal. Oh my goodness, people in the United States really do not know how to drive, and I will tell you what. The main reason that I am excited for this film is because I hear that Matt Walsh really stabs DEI in the throat here. He really gets to the core of why DEI is so bad for this country and why DEI is actually secretly anti-white, which is a real thing. It is called reverse racism, and I don't approve of it, and it doesn't feel very good if I'm being honest here. I'll tell you what. Now I am also very excited because Matt Walsh is a great looking guy. He has a great full beard. I mean, he is what a man should look like. He has the full thick coif of hair. He's got the beard, and that beard is so full you wouldn't be able to spot a dare in it for miles. And then, which I need to see which way I'm going. Hold up. Okay, I'm still going in the right. Oh, my screen's a little foggy here. All right, what is this truck doing? I drive the Ford F-150. You got the Nissan. What is that, a 2002? Speeding down the highway. Abide by the law or you will get pulled over by the police. Anyway, yeah, I love Matt Walsh. He is one hunk of a man. And if I, per se, wasn't a straight man with a beautiful wife and 3 loving children, then I might dabble. Who knows? I truly believe, and I haven't even seen the film yet, but I truly believe that this movie could win an Oscar, maybe even 2. 1 for Best Actor, of course, and 2 for Best Soundtrack. Because did you hear that song? Did you hear that song? Yeah! They gonna say I'm racist. They call everybody racist, so you can't do that. So that means that nobody's racist. Simple math. 1 + 1 is 2. He's putting all my thoughts into words. I didn't know he could do that. Yeah, because you're not the victim. Why are you victimizing yourself? God damn. Speaking the truth. Set us free. We're being shackled. We need to be set free. The white man needs to be set free. I know I don't look white. I'm not, but I want to be really bad. How can I be racist? Just I love everybody. I don't even see color like that. I don't even see color. And I am a brown man with a southern accent. So it's like, I get questioned all the time, like, how do you have a southern accent when you look Indian, you know? You look like you aren't from here, you should leave, which I have gotten plenty of times. But it's also just like, this is how I was born, this is how I was raised, so how are you gonna take that away from me? It's like, how are you gonna tell me to go back to my country when this is where I was born? God, I hate liberals. Wait, guys, I will not lie to you. I just arrived to the theater and I'm a little bit scared. It's in a very scattered part of town, and it's very scarce and completely run down.
You know, I was so confused when I went to look online for the tickets because every theater should be playing this movie. That's what Matt Walsh told me, told all of us. And it was only playing in like 3 theaters in my whole vicinity. So I'm just confused as to why big government wants to take away this movie from us. It's a sign. It's a sign that I need to go see it. It's a sign that I'm in the right place. It's a sign that Matt Walsh made this movie. He made it for me. Matt Walsh, I'm coming. Just for you.
Suspense. What's he gonna say? What did he think of the movie? Tell us. What did you think of the movie? Let me draw it out a little bit more. Add a big sigh. Well, that was bad. Well, that was awful. It was bad. Bad movie. Really bad movie. God, the delivery was fucking awful. Jesus. What, were you expecting me to say anything else? It's a bad movie. And it's not even a proud to be bad movie. It's like unaware of how bad it is. It's a movie that thinks it's doing a good job trying to cosplay as a good movie, overdoing it with a bunch of unnecessary stylistic things that make it obvious that these people have no idea what they're doing. Bad skit tropes, predictable punchlines. They spend so much money on the sets and the effects of this movie that it's almost annoying. And it's not bad quality CGI, it's like obviously overdone CGI. Like the CGI that the MCU is now known for, where everything just somehow looks surreal yet lifeless at the same time. There's a CGI department or office that Matt exists in sometimes where he reads liberal books in an epic cinematic montage. It just really makes me wonder why we're spending thousands of dollars green screening one set for 2 scenes when the disguise for this movie looks like it was purchased from Party City. Which I was pretty much spot on in my earlier premonition regarding Matt Walsh's disguise. In this movie, Matt assumes the dummy character, someone who really doesn't know too much about racism and really wants to do his best to learn how he can do better. But it's Matt Walsh, someone who doesn't believe in racism and has made it his life's work to debunk any form of it. So predictably, he runs into some issues with his identity. Not only does the disguise not do much disguising, but he doesn't even have a disguise in the beginning of the movie. Even though he decides to remain the same character with or without the costume, it doesn't hit him to maybe go undercover until after he gets unsurprisingly discovered. Anyway, even though this should have been a no-brainer, he decides to get a disguise, which doesn't do him any favors, as I assumed correctly. He still looks like Matt Walsh and still goes by Matt. I mean, does he know what a disguise is? This is like the same thing as playing hide and seek with your little sibling. And all they do to hide is just close their eyes, because if they can't see you, you can't see them. Except your sibling looks like this. This disguise, in my opinion, is the movie's biggest tell. Matt's character wants to learn about whiteness and how he can do his part to pay back for hundreds of years of oppression caused by the white man. He attends racism seminars, montages himself reading, and hosts one-on-one interviews with educated scholars to really get to the bottom of this racism thing he's been hearing so much about. There are actually some really interesting possible discussions that could have been had in this movie. But he never gets there because Matt Walsh and the Daily Wire have already decided on the main message of this movie. Its main focus is systemic racism, and racism is a scam and a tool politicians use to get votes. This horridly dulled take is part of the reason why Matt's attempt at parody and disguise is so amateurish. Matt constantly outs himself as disingenuous in his intentions, and makes it blatantly obvious to the people he interacts with that this man, who is clearly in a wig, has ulterior motives. Which is unfortunate because he consistently interacts with real flaws of liberalism, white liberalism, and performative liberalism. He genuinely could have delved further into the nuances of profiting off of racism, because it's a real issue. But instead, Matt never lets the film dive into anything further than surface-level interactions. Matt completely contradicts the point of parody as well as this undercover Borat concept during his interviews by interjecting with thinly veiled, snarky remarks. Borat was racist, but also was able to accomplish what it did because Sacha Baron Cohen assumed a half-witted and unaware role that let the people he was interacting with feel like they could take advantage of him and ultimately show him their true selves. Sure, Cohen was entertaining in his own right, but the main appeal and interest of those movies was what the strangers would do and how they would react because of Borat. Borat was a troll, bait reeling out to see who would bite. Matt Walsh is a cock blocker. I couldn't think of a better analogy than that. He stops real dialogue from occurring by self-inserting what he thinks is humor. Man moment, this makes people suspicious. and uncomfortable, and less likely to show him their true selves. This fundamental lack of understanding of satire and parody, as well as the overproduction and strangely high quality of some of these interviews, completely gives away how pre-planned and disingenuous this movie is. Matt mainly talks with white speakers and with white people in an attempt to out their hypocrisy and self-victimization. But if Matt Walsh wasn't so dense and narcissistic, he'd be able to observe and take note of more of the performative liberalism among white liberals. But he doesn't. He just points at possibilities of seminar scams and says, well, that's why racism doesn't exist, which also makes his choice to mainly interview white people just seem racist. The only time he talks about real racist incidents with black people, they're just used to cover his bases and trivialize the concept of racism entirely. An example of racism that's brought up is an incident of a Sesame Street mascot not high-fiving two black children. This is a microaggression that this movie spotlights as an example of racism. Matt gives this incident so much screen time. He interviews the mother of these children, seemingly to use this example as a massive generalization of all racist incidents. And when he decides to discuss racist hate crimes, he brings in the author of Hate Crime Hoax to debunk the severity and legitimacy of all hate crimes. Because the rate of violent crimes is much more predominant than that of hate crimes, so we just shouldn't care about hate crimes at all. So, Matt Walsh's new movie, Am I Racist?, attempts to debunk racism by saying that we shouldn't worry about microaggressions or non-hate crimes because they're over-dramatized. And we shouldn't worry about hate crimes and more severe examples of racism because they're over-dramatized. That clip I showed earlier of Matt being confronted with Haitian history he's unaware of.
It constantly decapitates governments and takes the money out of the country. And saddles us with
we don't want the Clintons
debt
either.
from a revolution. Yeah.
Is so much more ironic within the context of this movie. His whole point of interviewing white liberals to debunk the very fact that systems are so deeply affected by history is literally debunked by a white liberal who has to explain to him like a baby how Haiti's systems have been affected by the US. Could you be any more stupid? R.I.P. Matthew Perry. You were a better Matt than Walsh could ever be. This movie is so surface level and bad and blatantly propaganda, it made me want to spoon my eyes out. During the end of the movie, I was so excited to walk out, but then they played a scene during the end skit where the waitress of the diner came over to Matt and was making sure he was okay because he looked distressed, like he just went through it. And he did the thing, you know, the skit trope where he looks directly in the camera as if she's the camera looking at him. And he goes, oh, you know, boy, have I had a time. And it like zooms in on his eyes and it is a flashback scene of all the shit he just went through. Except the flashback scene was a flashback scene of the whole movie. Replaying the whole movie within a span of like 5 minutes. Going through scene by scene. Just showing me the entire movie after I just watched it. I really didn't like this movie. Apparently, the Daily Wire and Angel Studios are teaming up to make a sequel for Sound of Freedom. So, super stoked for that. To make this exit. Guys, hold on for dear life here. This is treacherous, but don't worry. I am a great driver of my Ford F-150. We're going to get in, just sit tight just like that. Oh, nice and comfy, nice and cozy, and then we're going to take the exit. That's how you do it. That is how you do it down south. That's what I'm talking about. All right, we are almost there, so why is my face so big? Do that. All right, we are almost there. So I'm going to walk in the theater, and I will see you guys there.
God, I'm so fucking excited.